Brendan, lovely to meet you.
Hi,
JD from Sky Sports.
Hi.
I think we should first start with just an injury update and a fitness concerns just going into this weekend with your squad at the moment.
We've got no injury worries. Everyone is fit and trained very well.
I wanted to start with something quite sentimental, and I know it's close to the club here. I know last week the appointment was made of Kuntop in terms of taking over from his father's legacy. I just wanted to get your standpoint and how you feel that the club are going to go forward from here.
Well, I mentioned last week I feel with Kuntop being officially in charge, I think in any organisation you need leadership from the very top, and of course responsibility. The moment is his father unfortunately passed away, so and he's been absolutely brilliant. You know how he has led through such trauma and how he's inspired everyone here at the club. So yeah, I think it was just something natural for him, which I'm sure was never going to be easy. But he's just slotted right into that position, and like I say, he's had all the support from all the staff and all the players and everyone here and the community. And yeah, I think he's really determined now to go on and push through with that legacy.
Thinking about the way you're an ambitious manager and some of the ambitious moves you've made this summer in terms of bringing in Tillemans, adding Perez as well, some notable additions, other ones as well in terms of the quality that you have at the squad. Do you feel like this is really the year where you can push in and make a push for that top six or even the European position overall?
Well, it's a long season. I think for us it's just step by step. We made a solid start last weekend. We were defensively very good in that game, and we aim to improve and get better as the season goes on. The competition is very, 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 very tough, but like you say, we've got improving all the time, and ambitions to improve and develop, and hopefully in my time here that's what we can do.
Speaking of last week's game, obviously you played what would be technically a European rival in terms of because Wolves finished 7th. What did you learn from that game, and what did you learn about your squad so early on in the season?
Yeah, well, we were playing against a very good side, a side that you can see have been together for a little while. But I was very pleased with our defensive organisation because the Wolves give teams a lot of problems, and in particular away from home, where they play on the counter attack and they create a number of opportunities. But for us, we defend it against that very, very well. The game is always going to be tight. There was never going to be many chances, but defensively our structure was good. We pressed the game well, which allowed us to have the ball for large majorities of possession, and we created one or two chances that on another day we might have scored. But hopefully, as time goes on, we improve that quality in the final third, and we'll take those opportunities. But it is important that defensively you're strong at this part of the season. You've got a real good base to build from, and I think we demonstrated that last week.
The controversy in terms of within your game was centralised around the VAR decision,
yeah.
And a lot of people have turned around and kind of split on it still in terms of some of the older statesmen that turned around and saying it's taking the authenticity out of the game because of the tighter decisions. I just wanted to know what was your standpoint in terms of, do you feel like it's still a positive thing going forward?
Yeah, I believe so. I think that in the end of it all, you want the right decision. You know, I've sat and heard the explanations from the referees and the organisation around VAR, and I think that it will benefit the game. It's not going to be perfect at this moment in time. However, I think everyone will look at it and go that as long as you get the right decision at the end, then that's all that matters. My own mindset is that you just have to ensure whether it goes for you or against time to time, that you just stay focused in the game and not let it affect your momentum in the game. So for us, it worked for us last weekend. But the rules are the rules. You know, the handball. It was a handball. It led to a goal, and quite clearly in the rules that shouldn't count. So I'm sure it'll go against us maybe at some point in the season, and I cannot cry. You know, we have to just move on.
And looking forward to this weekend, obviously you're playing Chelsea, who are a team probably in transition but still a top team with a British manager, much like yourself. What kind of threats do you kind of see from them, and what shape do you see them taking, even so early on in the season under Lampard?
Yeah, I think Frank's done very well since he's gone in. You know, you can't forget this is a team that finished third last season and won the Europa League. So it tells you everything about the talent that's in the squad. But I think Frank's perfect for it. You know, him and Jody and young Joe Edwards, who are around the first team. They've been there. They understand the fabric of Chelsea. They understand what it's about. And I've been really impressed watching the team. Okay, they've lost a couple of games, but the tempo and the game is good. They're obviously going to play at a higher intensity, higher tempo in the game. Frank understands the policy at the club, understands how it works, and he'll be looking to bring in some of the young players, which he has done. And he's given them an opportunity, which you have to admire that, because that's always been the case around Chelsea. People have looked about the young players. Are they going to get a chance or not? They've got a wonderful academy there, full of really talented players, and they have developed those over many, many years. And maybe they haven't, for whatever reason, got the opportunity. But Frank's now there with Jody and Joe, like I say, and we'll give them that chance to flourish. And then they're always going to have then top-class players around that. So they're a good side, very good side. They'll be up looking to challenge at the top of the table. And it'll be a difficult game for us.
You as a manager who's coached right through from the youth system right through to the top level now as well, do you feel like fixture congestion, because there is a lot made in terms of the travel, they were finished so late on Wednesday night, but now coming to play this weekend, will that actually have a bearing in terms of on their fitness and how they're effective?
No, I don't think it will have the bearing. I think the teams at that level will have the squads that can cope with that. You know, when you have you're in those competitions and you're in the European competitions, you have to have a squad that's built for that. So they've got a lot of robust players, a lot of players coming back, and like I say, they'll be looking to play their first home game with Frank and put on a good performance.
And just finally from me, I know long-serving midfielder here, Andy King, has gone on loan to Rangers. I just wanted to know if you had any final words. I know he's only gone on loan, but any words in terms of how his progression is going to be for that loan period?
No, it was something that I spoke to Andy a few weeks ago. I've known Andy since he was 15 from his time at Chelsea. And he's been a great servant here for Leicester City for many, many years. And I felt when I came back to here, and he was obviously out on loan at Derby, over the course of the summer, you know, I said to him, listen, if I felt that you weren't going to be in my squad, I want to tell you as early as you possibly can, so that you can get something organised for your future, because he hasn't played for a period of time and he wants to get games and wants to play. So a few weeks ago I spoke to Andy and said, look, listen, you won't feature in my 25. I respect you, which he knows. So I want to give you and your representatives and the club every chance to organise a move. And that was really the last that I'd spoken to Andy on an actual move. Him going to Rangers, I wasn't aware of, to be honest, but it's something that all happened very, very quickly for him. So that's the state of play, really. As I said, he'll go out, whatever club he was going to, he wants to go out and play games to build his fitness up and get the game time. And like I say, he's been a great servant for here.
Thank you so much, Brendan.
Pleasure.
First of all, a lot of us were wondering whether or not you go out and spend the money that you had on Harry Maguire. How pleased are you perhaps that Salah Soyuncu, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, has gone on and kind of shown what a good player he is?
Well, he made a great first appearance. I think that in my time since I've come in here, I've recognised he's a very, very good player. You know, the scouting team here have done a great job in bringing a young, talented player in. He's had that first year where he's had to adapt. I know a lot of the guys that were playing in front of him, and Johnny and Harry were first-class players, and Wes. But you could see in his training and how focused he was, that if the opportunity came, that he could take it. And I felt that he was absolutely outstanding, him and Johnny, last weekend. You know, his speed in the game. Firstly, he can defend. He's aggressive. He wants to attack the ball, but he's a modern day centre half where he's comfortable on the ball. So I thought he was very, very good. For him, this season is going to be about consistency. And like I say, Harry's gone, and Harry will show at Manchester United as well what a top player he is. And for Cags, it's an opportunity for him to come in and show what a really good young player he is.
You're going back to Chelsea, a club where you were a coach many years ago. When you were at the academy, how not that anyone wants any form of a transfer ban, but how pleased will everyone within that academy be that there is a real opportunity for some of those young players to potentially come through this year?
No, I don't think they'd be pleased that they have a ban. I think all the guys in the academy, Neil Bath, who's headed up the academy for a number of years, has done a brilliant job in terms of putting together a strategy with the club that allows them to get the most talented players they possibly can. They've shown that through the youth system at Chelsea for many years. The real talent is there. I think what's going to be great for them and encouraging for them will be now that you have Frank, who understands, like I say, the fabric of the club. He understands he has to win, but he also understands that young players need an opportunity. And with Jody there and Joe, who I know very well, these are guys that have been there for a long, long time, and they trust the young players. So this will hopefully mean for the likes of a number of them, they get that opportunity, because every young player needs a chance to show, and I'm sure they'll get that with Frank.
It will be Frank Lampard's first competitive match in charge at Stamford Bridge. Knowing the club, knowing what he means to the club, how kind of emotional could that then be this weekend?
Well, no, listen, the season's up and running. I'm sure he's been looking forward to that first game. So for us, we know it's going to be a tough game, but we're a team that have gone there in the last couple of seasons and done very well. And we have a group of players that relish the big games. So this is a game that I'm really looking forward to, building on what we were and how we played last weekend. And like I say, I think it should be a really, really good football game. Having
won there last year, can it give you an edge mentally?
No, I think what it does is it gives players confidence. You know, I think in my time in here in the big games, the players have played very, very well. You know, they've won some, gone close in one or two of the others. But no, for us, it's just making another step. We know it's a difficult game. They get top-class players at Chelsea. They've shown that. And they're a team that want to be up there fighting at the very top of the league this season. For us, it's a case of going there and bringing our true game. And like I say, it should be a very good football game.
And finally, for me, Demarai Gray wasn't a part of the squad last weekend. Did you have a chat with him, or is he part of your plans going forward? He just didn't fit in that particular game.
Yeah, he's a talented player, Demarai. I think it's one where, as a coach, you always look at it. You're looking in training, and you're looking in the strategy going into the game in terms of what you maybe need within it. So it's a very competitive squad, which is what we wanted. But he understands where he's at. Yeah, I spoke to him at length in terms of where I see him, and now hopefully this year he can make that step forward. But that's going to mean that in training he has to be at the very best he possibly can be, and that's the same for the other players as well. You've got to really show that mentality in training to improve your game, to give yourself an opportunity to be in the matchday squad, and that's something that he's done very much so this week, and like I say, he's a very talented player.
Hi Brendan.
Hi.
From your time at Chelsea, I wonder what your relationship with Frank Lampard was like. I know that clearly you were in different departments, as it were, but did you know him? Did you get on well with him at the time?
Yeah, I had a close relationship with Frank. Frank was absolutely brilliant there, obviously as a player, but for me, when I worked in the technical department with the young players, he gave them great advice. And also Frank's father, Frank Senior, was absolutely invaluable for me at the beginning of my managerial career, because when I first took my job at Watford, I brought Frank Senior in as an advisor to me, and he was absolutely brilliant, and also to Reading as well. So, but no, Frank, it doesn't surprise me. He's made that step in. You know, done a really good job at Derby. Has gone in now to a club that he knows very well, and he'll be very focused on trying to help Chelsea achieve, because he, as well as anyone, knows what it is they want to achieve and the success they want to have. And I'm sure he'll do very, very well. But he's a good guy, will want to be the very best that he can be. And like I say, I'm sure he'll do a very good job.
Do you think it's a brave move, being such a legend at a club like Chelsea as he is, to then go in the infancy of his managerial career to go and try and take that kind of job on?
Well, no, I think you go with your gut feeling. You know, he's been around the game a long time, I think what will help, he understands the club, he understands what the expectancy is there. Frank's a hero for the supporters, so he knows he'll get that support. But ultimately, he'll know that he'll want to win and he'll want to succeed as a manager. So, but he goes into a club that he knows very, very well. He's got great staff around him who also understand Chelsea, and then he'll have that support, which will serve him well. And he's got outstanding players. So I think it just probably will have felt natural for him, to have had his time at Derby and the opportunity to go and manage a club like Chelsea, in the Champions League. I'm sure it's an opportunity that he'll relish.
On Andy King going on loan to Rangers, given your association with the green and white half of Glasgow, I wonder whether you turned your phone off when that was confirmed. No,
like I say, it was I wasn't aware of it until he was having his medical. So it was just something that happened very, very quickly. I came in on Wednesday morning and we were just making our final preparations for training, and I was told that he was obviously up in Glasgow having his medical. So it's something that I think the club have afforded him that respect, to choose where it is he wants to go. Of course, I had no say in it really. He's, like as I said, he's a senior player here. He's needing to go out and get games and play. So he's taken the opportunity to go there.
He's one of a kind, Andy, really, given his association with this football club for so long. He's out of contract at the end of next season as well. The club, of course, may arrange contract extensions, we don't know, but he may have played his last game for the football club. You've showed already that you're quite sentimental with Danny Simpson in the last game of the season. Is there anything you plan for Andy? Testimonials are rare these days, but not many have won League One, the Championship and the Premier League.
No, listen, it's obviously way too early for that. I think that for now, for Andy, it's just about trying to go out and get some games. The last 18 months have been difficult for him in terms of game time. So he was hungry to go and play football. And then, like I say, we'll see where it goes from there. I don't think there's any doubt. I think what Leicester City do for their players, and especially players of Andy's ilk, that they really look after them. And I'm sure that'll be the case. I've known him since he was 15. When he left, he was at Chelsea as a young player, and Leicester took him on. When he left Chelsea, he showed a great respect, moved to here and has had a fantastic career and is a real legend here of the club. So I'm sure whatever happens, midway through the season or by the end of the season, he'll be offered the respect that the club do very, very well for their players. You mentioned the final third against Wolves and it just not quite clicking, not quite being there. You actually mentioned fitness post-match. But I wonder what you've been working on, if you can work on anything in particular to improve that and to try and get that right away at the Bridge. Yeah, I think that there'll be a bit more space for us. I think the game, if you look at Wolves' structure, they defend it very deep. And of course, there's never going to be many opportunities in games like that are tight. You're looking at those one or two that does come. That you can take them, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that. But like I say, the positive for me was that against a team that create a lot of chances, in particular away from home, we were able to nullify that to a couple of counter-attacks, and we just reiterated really about the speed of our game. We need it to be just a little bit faster in around the final third, a few more combinations to get in. And the players have played with real quality this week, and especially these last 2 days, seeing them how they have trained, they've been first class. So it'll be a great game for us. Like I say, we go there with a real focus to look to get a good result. Frank Lampard said he's had a strange couple of games already in charge at Chelsea. How do you expect the first 10-15 minutes to be at Stamford Bridge with the emotion for Frank coming back, as you said, maybe a bit of fatigue? How do you expect the opening encounters to play out? I think Frank will expect his team to play how they've looked over the course of pre-season, and in the two games that I've seen against Manchester United and Liverpool, you're a big team, so you want to be on the front foot. And you'll be looking to take your game to your opposition, and I think that'll be no different. Of course, it's still early on in the season, but they come back. They play on the Sunday, so they'll be looking very much so to play in the front foot, I'm sure, and go in and dominate and play at a tempo and an intensity. And that's very much the idea of us as well. It's how we want to play. And like I say, it should be a good football game. Probably a bit more space in the game than what there was last weekend here. So yeah, that'll suit our players of quality.
Finally from me, you mentioned one player who was out of your squad last week, Damari Gray. I wonder about Islam Slimani. He's not featured for a while. He was out on loan last season. Does he feature in your plans, Brendan?
Well, I think Slim's a guy that, again, I've said before, it's a very difficult ask here for any striker to come in, especially an experienced striker. So I think it's one between now and the end of the window. Slim will probably have a look at his options, really, what is out there for him. He's come back in. He's looking to work hard. He's focused on getting himself fit, because obviously he's been away for a number of weeks as well with the African nations. So and then we'll see how it looks come the end of this month.
Good luck Sunday.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Cheers.